Hi, good evening and welcome to Brookside Intermediate School. I'm Andrew Smith, the school district social worker. Welcoming everyone to our second part in our two-part series of our love and logic training on power and control issues, geared for parents and grandparents who are helping to raise children. I'd like to welcome Mr. Berkey, who is our presenter this evening. Mr. Berkey is a retired school counselor from the Strongsville City Schools and has made presentations across Northern Ohio, working with parents and grandparents to provide some strategies, tools, and techniques for children. Mr. Berkey.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate it. And good evening to all of you here tonight and to all of you out there. It's a pleasure again to be back here in the Sheffield schools. I feel like I've done a lot here, and I think Mr. Smith, as a little joke, is going to give me a letter very soon, but that's going to be a fun thing. But I really want to again thank the student services here at Sheffield Lake Schools for inviting me and for being part of this program and supporting this endeavor throughout this school year. Tonight, our topic of power struggles, control issues, and what's a parent to do. I guess what I want to do, just to start with, you folks have in front of you have a handout there. If you don't mind, don't go looking at it. You're going to cheat on me now. I saw you. You see the two words. You see power and you see control. I'm not going to say another word for the next 7 seconds. And I want you to just jot down, or even in your head, the first words that come to you when you hear the word power. Go. 3, 4, 5. No pressure. All right. And now I'm going to ask you to do the exact same thing. How about the same thing with the word control? What comes to your mind when you hear the word control? For the next 58 minutes, I'm going to hope to engage you that are here and get a little feedback from you. It'll make things a little easier for us. So I would like to hear if anybody has, and when they first heard the word power, and you can wave at me to do this first. When you heard the word power, was it a positive or a negative? Say it out loud. Positive? Negative? So we got both. How about control? Control was negative, almost across the board. Were there any words that you'd like to share with me that came to your mind? Let's start with power. You said it was positive. Strength? Okay. You said it was negative. What a word that came to you when you heard power?
I thought of control.
Okay. Out of control. Okay. Great idea. Okay. How about the word control? Most of you kind of said negative. What were some words that came to your mind? Just shout them out. Ownership. Command.
Oppression.
Say it again.
Oppression.
Okay. Any other negative words? Strapped. Okay. This is the kind of thing I think that, like I said, for the next few minutes, what we're going to take a look at is what is it that when we're trying to work with our kids and we're trying as parents, what are we trying to do with our kids to make it a little less stressful, a little less, too much on us to do these things. When I hear, my kid's in control, like we got to kind of work with that a little bit. So if I asked you, if you sat here and you were going to walk away with one new little idea, do you think your time would be worth it? For those of you who are watching us online, would your time be worth it to spend the next 55 minutes if you walked off with one thing that could be useful to make that relationship with your child just a little better? Would that be worth it to you? Yeah, okay. How about 2? Ooh, even more exciting. Very cool. Okay, so that's kind of my goal tonight, is let's see if we can come up with a couple of ideas, a couple of strategies I've used the analogy, something that uses with the love and logic thing, as Mr. Smith introduced us to that, tools for the toolbox. If all I've got is a hammer and I'm looking at a screw, that's not always going to work real well. So if we've got just a couple of extra tools for the toolbox, that's what we're hoping to do. So if I've got the technology, let's see, let's try this way. There we go. So some of the things that we started talking about, I didn't want to show you this until we were ready to get into it. When you think of control, what are your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your reactions? A lot of you in this room not only have your own children, but you also have children that you deal with on a daily basis. So I kind of ask, the kid part. Is there anything that comes to your mind when you think of control or power? You're in your classroom, you're at home, you're at dinner, you're trying to do homework, you're trying to get the room cleaned. Has any thoughts come to your mind on that? That, when you think about what are your thoughts, emotions? When you say, I've lost control. Has anybody ever thought, gee, I've lost control? What's going on? I'm seeing, what's really nice, just so you all know, I'm seeing the heads go up and down, which is kind of encouraging. So I've put up here on the screen just an idea that instead of trying to control what's going on, are we able maybe to manage things? Let's just manage the situations instead of controlling it or taking power over it or taking charge of it. Could we just manage? A goal is just to influence. Maybe influence the direction we're going. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if I'm still, I got to learn how to do that. There we go, okay. I will tell you this, the one thing that I've found in all of my work and all the time in presenting things to parents is there are strong-willed kids. What I'd like you to do, can you think of that strong-willed kid? Got him? Okay, on the count of 3, pick the strong-willed kid, say his name, make up his name. Better not say his name out loud. Make up his name. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Got him. Okay. Strong-willed kids, what I've always found, strong-willed kids are great scientists. What do scientists normally do? They run experiments. So that strong-willed kid is going to find out what's going to work. Let me try this on the person that's around me. Let me run a little experiment. If it doesn't work or the lab blows up, their tendency is to try something else. Okay, great. If it does work, I'm going to perfect it. So think about an example. Would anybody like to share an example of that strong-willed kid who did the experiment and thought about what it might be like to have that and to have the experiment work really well? Anybody like to share just a 30-second story on that one? I'll give you a cookie if you do. No, it's okay. And anybody have just a story? I know you've got younger kids, older kids, anything like that. The strong-willed kid that ran the experiment. Okay, I'll go. Yes, thank you. I was going to say I could use my kids, but they're really kind of interesting. But
a child from a camp I used to work at.
Okay.
He ran an experiment that if he ran out of the room, people would follow him and attend to him, multiple people.
Yeah. Okay.
Immediately. It worked successfully, and he would continue to figure out ways to bring
more attention to what's going on. And for those that didn't hear, I have this strong-willed kid, he's sitting here in the room, he runs out of the room and everybody's, oh my gosh, there goes Johnny Jump, he's running out of the room, let's go attend to him. So Johnny stands out there smiling, hi everybody, I'm here. That experiment worked, I'm going to do that again. So the frustrating part may be, what do I do? Oh my gosh. So now I'm torn as the adult. Do I go running after Johnny because we don't really know what he's doing out there in the hall, and I'm giving him what he wants? Or if I don't go out in the hall, then what's he doing out there, and I'm responsible for him? Do you hear the dilemma? Absolutely, and I hear that too. I just want to give you a little piece here. It often, if every time we try something, if we're going to try to, work on a new tool, a new assessment, a new way to do something, sometimes I don't want you to get discouraged. If you want to try one of the tools in the toolbox, things might get a little worse. before they get better. So don't expect this is not microwave. I've always thrown a little line there. Sometimes it takes a month to try to alter the direction of behavior for every year. So if you're dealing with a 4-year-old, it might take 4 months. If you're dealing with a 9-year-old, it might take up to 9 months. So keep that part in mind as we're talking through things. Am I going to go the right direction this time? Yes, I am. Good. Okay. So we've got experiments. Kids do learn through the experiments. They do learn through the experience. They do learn through your example of what you're doing and how you react and move through things. One of the key things, and I will refer to love and logic a lot during the presentation here tonight, but one of the key words is empathy. So, our goal, I call them the 3 R's. Our goal is we want our kids to be respectful, responsible, resourceful if we can get there. So far we've talked about experiments, right? Let's see. Oh, this is going to work well. Okay. I would love, we're going to do a little role play, and I like the fact that you're going to, and thank you for joining us. You can be an observer. Okay, that's good. But I've got, if you don't mind, you're sitting with somebody right now. I'd rather you run the experiment with somebody you're not sitting with. Fair enough? Okay. So somebody is going to be the person conducting the experiment, and somebody's going to be the recipient of the experiment. And I've got little directions for you. So the first 3 people that walk up to me get to be the giving the experiment. 1, 2, 3. Here they come. Okay. You do not have any idea what you're getting? Okay. All right. Here you go. Here you go. Thank you very much. Now go find one of the other 3 people. You get to go find and be with one of the other 3 people. There you go. Very good. Okay, you've got your victim. I mean, you have your wonderful person here to do this with. And thank you for being a part of this. I want you to observe the reactions of what's going on. Okay, we ready? Okay, so you don't know what you're doing yet. Hold on, man. You don't know. Hold. Hold on, man. Hold on. You're jumping the gun a little bit. Okay. Put that back down. Thank you very much. Okay. You're the one doing the experimenting. Take the card back up again. There we go. Okay, here we go. Now, somebody actually saw a preview, and we'll pretend we didn't see that. What you're going to do is you are going to ask the person across from you to do the very first thing on the card. And then you're going to do the second thing. And then you're going to do the third thing. And you're going to do the fourth thing. And I want you to observe what goes on. Whenever you're ready to go ahead and start that, go. Ask the person to do.
Stand up and raise your right hand. Hold your chair with your lap up. Stand on one leg. Smile. And then you have to sing on the little keyboard.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my...
When I get
You're fine. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. The poor victim may now actually put themselves in the thing that they were holding, if they would like. Feel free to do that. So here's my first question for you. As the giver, how was that for you? When giving the directions. Fun. Easy. Agreed. Okay, all right. High vocabulary. That's good. Okay. All right. So how about the one receiving the direction? And again, because you kind of knew each other a little bit, it made it a little more interesting. How about the one receiving the direction? Any reaction?
just nervous.
You were nervous about it. Anything else? What am I going to have to do? Any other ideas? Okay. Anybody starting to get angry? Because you kind of liked each other, I guess. Okay. What if I had done this? May I pick on you for a minute? Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! I'm waiting. Would you stand up? Okay, now what are you feeling? Why? Thank you for letting me leave.
Because of tone of voice.
Tone of voice. See, most of you just said, oh, please just stand up for me. Okay. Do you notice the difference in how I said it? You know, and now you have to, now what was interesting, I hope you don't mind, we got to singing. I'm not doing that. I don't know. All of a sudden now we started to get a little resistance, which is fine. May I ask, as the one who was watching all of that, what were you feeling? What were you seeing? What were you noticing?
Enjoyment.
Okay.
Laughter.
All right. Okay. Put yourself, though, in the parent-child. Clean your room. Eat your vegetables. Get your homework done. Are you hearing some of that? And does it relate to power, control? There's our two key words for the night. Power, control. So I didn't want to get too far ahead, but let's take a look. Wait a minute. The person in the position of authority. Did you feel that the person giving you the orders, so to speak, was authority person? Now again, you know each other, which makes it a little harder, but the person giving things. The person in position of authority has control and can abuse it. Think about that a minute. And yeah, here's the ones that we did. You know, I said, stand up, raise your right hand. You know, pick your chair up, do that, sing on a little teapot. Think about the people who are in your life. Do any of you have a boss that is in the position of authority and has control and can maybe abuse it? Do we have anybody? No, the Brookside schools are fine. That's right. I'm sorry. I should have gone to a different school system. I'm sorry to ask that question. But think about how, as a child, the parent is kind of going, okay, I'm in charge of this. I'm in control of this. I've got the power to do this. And could it possibly then end up, for lack of a better term, abusive, small a, and we're not talking about, child abuse, but we're saying if you start barking things, could that happen? Could we get compliant or non-compliant relation? I'm not singing. I'm not doing that. That's stupid. That's dumb. Finally, we get to the point where I don't want to do that. Do you see where the power struggle would come from? At least, how have we created it? Anger, frustrations, a feeling of being okay. How did our singers, were they happy about having to sing? Was there any sense of embarrassment? If we had 50 people in the room, would there have been a little more embarrassment? Sure. Okay, those may be questions. So, and I'll ask you this, how are you feeling toward me right now making you do that? So somebody share that. Say it again. Fine. I don't have a problem being hated right now. That's okay. That's a normal reaction. It's like, wait a minute. I'm standing in front of you. Do I give across that at least a little bit of authority? I'm above you. Go ahead, ask me.
When you asked, did you feel like your partner was an authority? I didn't. I felt like you were. So.
How?
Because he was working through you.
Got it. So I've now given my authority to somebody else, and you're the victim of it.
Yeah.
You're the recipient of it, and they're on you. All right? Okay, exactly. Think about how that works in a child's life. The teacher has now, and again, most classrooms, teacher stands, kids sit. Just the presentation. Look at how I'm doing. If I would, I hope, all you video people, I hope I'm not going to trash any of this. Now what's it like? I'm one of you now. But no, level ground, thank you. Do you see the difference? Could you, as a parent, set some of this up when you're talking to your child? Absolutely. Hey, we're going to have a little chat. Come join me. We're going to have a chat. Did I use the exact same words? Yes. Were they presented in a different way? Yes. I'm not going to beat it to death. Does it make sense? Do you see just the nonverbals? So, we lost the corner. Parent, teacher, supervisor, boss, the policeman, the politician. How, again, all these people that we think of in authority, how are they presenting things and how are they giving control over a situation? Now can we apply it to what we're doing as parents? Absolutely. Good deal. Oh, I'm going to learn it yet. Okay. One of my favorite lines, and I've been doing love and logic things, believe it or not, for over 40 years. It was first presented to me in the 80s. And I think this is the 2020s, at least the last I checked my calendar. The science of control. Here's some keywords, and I'm sorry, if you would like to, you're all in an uncomfortable place. Would you like to return to your spot? You may do that. Thank you very much. Get back to your seat. No, okay, no, we're not going to do that either. Okay, very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. I love these two lines. The more we control, we share, the more we have. The less control we share, the less we have. The parent of the baby, the parent of the 4-year-old, the parent of the 8-year-old, I had trouble with this one. And I will stand in front of you right now and say, I had trouble with this. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to share my control? No, I'm the one that's in control. I'm the parent. I'm in charge. I'm the teacher. This is the way it's going to work. I'm the coach. I'm in charge of this. I'm supposed to share that control? That makes no sense to me initially. The more control we share, the more we have. The less control we share, the less we have. It took me a while, and it's not going to sink in the next 33 minutes. But this line is the one that got me the most. We can either share control on our terms or force our kids to take it on their terms. I'll let that sink in for a minute. Let's share our authority. Let's share our control. Let's share our perceived power on our terms. Let's control the situation before the kids do it themselves and take over. Let that sink in a little bit too. Make sense a little bit? Okay. That way. Yeah, I got it right. Okay. I'm guessing you see no kids like this. Few smiles. Come on, maybe. Okay. Children who lack control, they may have hearing loss, they have memory failure. They experience a complete, muscular paralysis. Have you seen the one in the store with full down, flat out, I'm not moving, and they're on the floor? I mean, I've seen it. Okay. They become defiant or aggressive. They try to boss around their siblings and peers. Okay, these are things that we see. Okay. Very briefly, I want to just touch on, before we go to the next thing, just the difference between a physical need and a want. And I'm glad we have a little baby present. So, and those of you who are at home that are, with your children or with a little baby, this is a good thing to take a look at. The physical or emotional need. I gave the example. Hunger, thirst, the loneliness. A baby will start crying. Meet the need. Feed them. Clean them. Nurture them. Hold them. They start to trust and love. They've figured out this works pretty well. Okay? The next time I'm hungry, I can't talk yet, but the next time I'm hungry, I'm going to cry because the significant older person fed me. That worked pretty well. The next time I'm hungry, I'm going to cry. The next time I'm cold, somebody's going to bring me a blanket. If I just cry, or if I say, if I whine a little bit, if I'm lonely, I'm going to whine a little bit. That works. And that fits, and that all makes sense. Now, how about a want or desire? Example, I want to sleep with mom and dad. I want to go to the mall. I want to play video games. I want a new pair of shoes. I'm going to cry if it doesn't happen. Now, as a parent, it's hard sometimes to figure out, is this a need or a want? Need, hunger, changing, the poopy diaper, the whatever. Is it a want? I want to, I want this, I want that. To try to decide. If you're ever, just a brief statement, if you're ever trying to decide the difference between a need and a want, err on the side of caution and make sure that it's a need and address it, and let's see what happens with it. But if you're, they just want to sleep with me. Okay, I've got some friends who a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old are still sleeping in mom and dad's bed. Not sure how that's going to pan out. I'll keep you posted on that. All right? But you'll see the word as we go through the next half hour, setting limits on what's wanted. Setting the limit. The child is required to stay in the room even though this makes them cry. Gee, remember Johnny that just ran out the door? Gee, Johnny, I'm really sorry. I really love you very much. This is great. However, it's your bedroom. This is mom and dad's bedroom. You're going to have to, I'll walk you over there. This is going to be great. I'm crying. It's not going to work. I want to be with you. Oh, I want to be with you too. This is great. Wonderful. It's great. However, we're going to set this limit. The child's going to eventually, go back to one of my first statements, it might take 6 months, it might take 9 months, go back to that. The child's going to learn, you know what? It's going to be okay in my room by myself. That's going to work. It'll be, I might have to have some nights that are crying, and I know where mom and dad are, and I might need the light on or something like that, but then they'll learn self-control. And I hope, is that not something we would like our kids to learn? A little bit of their own self-control. See a few heads going up and down, that's good. Okay, hopefully out there too, we're good. Okay, so the difference between want and needs. Okay, good. This way. So now, and I think I'm doing well. I'm checking my time. I'm getting a thumbs up. Here's my 2 gifts to you tonight. We're going to find 2 ways to share that control. Remember we talked about the more we share, the better off it's going to be? Say yes, yes, okay, cool, okay. So we're going to work on 2 things. One of them is it's a skill. It's a piece from Love and Logic called choices. And the second one's called enforceable statements. Choices, enforceable statements. Got them? Cool, all right. Hopefully I'm going to get a little feedback. We're going to keep going here. Okay. Now you can cheat. I'm not cheating. Now you can take a look at the handout. Go ahead and take a look at the handout. Here's some guidelines for giving choices. I have found, again, in my experience, giving choices is a powerful, powerful tool for parents, for adults, for anyone in that position. Give you the choice. You'll see at the beginning, let me grab mine too so I'm following along with you there. That's not what I needed. Okay, make sure and edit that out. Okay, here we go. Very good. Here's some good ones. Okay. For each choice, you want to give 2 options, each of which you like and are acceptable. Does everybody see that in the beginning of the paper? You want to give 2 choices, both of which are acceptable. So if I'm going to give a choice, I'll just do a really silly example for my 4-year-old. Sally, you can play in the yard or you can play in the street. Is that 2 options, folks? Yes or no? Yes. Are each of which do you like them or are they acceptable? No. Would you like to play in the front yard or the backyard? Does that sound better? Would you like to play inside or outside? Do you want to play upstairs or downstairs? Do you want to play with the green truck or the red truck? Do you hear choices, 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 choices? Okay. When things are going well, give them plenty of choices. It can work in the classroom. Do we want to watch the short video, or do we want to work on our homework? Do you want to get the pencil, or do you want... You can hear choices, choices, choices all over the place. You had a choice to come tonight or not come tonight. That was a choice. You had, you've tuned in, which is great. Give choices before there's resistance. I don't want to clean my room. Well, you have a choice of cleaning your room today or tomorrow. Now, that's too late. The choice, do I want to clean my room today or do I want to clean tomorrow? That's fine. Do I want to clean it at 8 a.m. or do I want to clean it at 1 p.m.? Do you hear the choice? Go back to the key words of limits again. Okay. Use care not to disguise it as threats. I'm always careful to say that too. Make sure it's not, do you want the juice or do you want milk? That's like, you're going to eat the peas or carrots. Which is it going to be? Do you hear how it's being presented? So, what's tonight's vegetable? Broccoli or squash? I want potatoes. Oh, how sad. We don't have potatoes tonight. We have broccoli and squash. Which would you prefer? Broccoli or squash? I want macaroni and cheese. Oh, I know. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's great. Do you want broccoli or squash? And they'll eventually learn, oh, here comes that love and logic stuff again, but we'll be okay with that. And again, take it, and I love this one too. If the child doesn't choose within 10 seconds, you decide. So, broccoli or squash?
What kind of squash?
Broccoli or squash? Oh, how sad for you. You chose broccoli. What will they learn from that? The next time I come back, broccoli or squash? Squash. Oh, good choice. Excellent choice. Thank you very much. Do you hear the difference? And that's what we're kind of after. Let's take a look there so I don't get caught. Let's take a look at a couple of the ones that are on your paper here. And I love these. Okay. The first, some love and logic examples of little choices. Would you like to wear your coat or carry it? What would be an unacceptable choice? Using that coat as the example. Anybody want to take a stab at that? Say it again? Throwing it on the floor. Would a choice be coat or no coat? It could be, but it's 27 below outside. You can choose whether you're going to carry it or put it on you, but you're still going to take it with you. All right, that'd be fine. But you hear the choices. If you say it's snowing, do you want shoes or no shoes? That wouldn't make a lot of sense. Do you want the shoes on your feet or do you want to carry them? They'll figure that out when it's snowing outside, that they'll actually put it on their feet. Do you hear the difference? Okay, cool. Now, for the little older kids, if we're trying to do some chores around the house. What are we going to do this week? Are we going to do the garage or the lawn this week? It's not what chore do you want to do? What chore do you want to do? Which chore do you want to do today?
Clean the garage.
Oh, really? That's a great choice. Now, I might get the defiant kid that says, and I'm not picking on you, you're not defiant. What chore are you going to do this week?
I'm taking the trash out.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm still waiting for the defiant kid. We got a defiant kid. Which chore are you going to do this week?
The dishes.
Oh, my, there's no defiant kid. Which chore are you going to do this week?
I'm not going to do a chore.
You're not doing a chore. What do you mean you're not? Hold it. You wait just a minute there. What are you talking about? You are doing your chores right. What? Do you see all of a sudden where that all just went? Look at where that went. Thank you for being such wonderful children. I'll take you all home with me tonight. That's great. Thank you for playing my game. You win a prize? That's good? Okay. But do you hear what happened? What did I do? I asked that question of, what chore are you going to do? Was that a choice? No, that was not a choice. Clean the room or do the dishes?
Clean the room.
Oh, so you were way too compliant again.
Oh, man.
Okay. Somebody fight with me a minute. Are you going to clean your room or do the dishes? I can't be. I'm too nice. I can't do that. Somebody fight with him. Do you want to finish?
None.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, are you going to clean your room or are you going to do the dishes?
Nothing.
Didn't I give you a lot of choices this week?
No.
Yeah, I really. Do you remember? Do you remember you got to choose whether you get?
remember.
Oh, okay. Remember the coat choice? You could either carry it or didn't. Remember you could wear your red shirt or your black shirt. Remember that one?
wore the yellow
Yeah.
shirt.
You chose the red one, and you're looking really good with red. That's awesome. Okay. Remember how we talked about whether you could have squash or broccoli, and you chose the squash because I know you really like that. Okay. Do you remember like breakfast time? I actually gave you the choice between Fruit Loops and Golden Grams. Do you remember doing that? Yes. Yeah, remember that? Go. Hi. How were those golden?
Pretty good.
How were those Golden Grams? Weren't they great? That was awesome. Do you see where I'm going with this? Have I made lots of deposits? Now it's time to make a withdrawal. Are you going to mow the lawn or clean your room? I don't want to do either. Oh, how sad. It's your choice. Clean the room, mow the lawn this week. What you going to do? Do you hear the power and if you look at it and you'll hear it again, who's now in control? Who's really, from the adult perspective, who's in control right now? You are. I'll let that sink in a minute. You are. All right? Here's my final line. When things aren't going well, Miss Defiant Child, don't hesitate to make the withdrawal. Oh, how sad. The lawn is getting a little long. You chose the lawn. Thanks very much. Do you hear the difference? Okay. So now, if you'd like to join, since we lost one, you're sitting with someone and you chose to sit with them, so that was your choice. What I'd like you to try to do, think of something. If there's a conflict, if there's anything, is there something in your school setting? Is there something in your home setting where there's and there's no topic that's taboo? I mean, I can tell you the ones that I've done with my 21-year-old. I can tell you the ones I've done with my 30-year-old. I can tell you the ones I've done with my 35-year-old. Okay, there's no topic that's taboo. What I'd like you to try to do is to come up with something that was a conflict. Because I want to engage you here a little bit for 2 minutes. And I promise it's only going to be 2 minutes, I promise. Some conflict that's going on with your child, something in the school right now. I'm going to give you 2 minutes and then we're going to talk about them real quick. You ready? Go. And we got one? Okay. What is it? I'm just curious.
Child does not like to sleep in his own room.
And does not sleep in his own room. Okay. So, what choices could you give?
I will value anything that you say.
And if you're stuck, it's okay. We'll come back to it. It's okay.
It's an irrational feeling. Right.
How old?
He's 11 and a half.
Is still sleeping with you and his...
No, he'll sleep in his room, but we have to it's under, we have to keep the door open. still, bedtime is not easy yet,
Okay.
so.
Maybe after we can even talk about bedtime versus bedroom time.
Oh, he doesn't like his room at all.
He doesn't like his room? Oh, we got to work on it.
If I'm in the bathroom, he wants to sit outside of the door.
Okay.
Could you give him that? I don't know if it's appropriate, like, okay, you sleep in your room, or you can sleep on the couch. Oh, Like, he is would that sleep on the appropriate?
He'd sleep on the couch.
Sleep on the couch every single night. Which the
So,
couch is much
do you,
stickier.
okay. Do you want to sleep in the bed or on the floor? Okay. Did you see how both choices are acceptable because he's in the room? Do you want to sleep with the pink blanket or the purple blanket? Do you want to sleep with your green pajamas or your blue pajamas? Do you want to?
There's just one dog.
Okay. Do you want to sleep with your pajamas or your clothes? Light on, light off. Music on, music off. Okay, I mean with those choices
Yeah,
though.
we have fancy,
Okay,
so he has an Alexa show.
great.
The sound doesn't really work because his hearing devices have to charge it.
Okay.
That's a certain special circumstance.
But more to talk. I mean, you can see where the logic can come from. It's just going to be.
Pajama thing.
That's right. Do we have one?
Yeah, we do.
Good. Do we have one? Yes? Ladies, do we have one? Good. Okay. Because I know I'm conscious of my time too. All right. Can I bring you all back? We had a nice discussion here. What was the conflict?
Wanting to eat a cookie before dinner.
Okay, cookie before dinner. Okay. What would be the choices? What did you come up with?
We said you can have a healthy snack right now, carrot or apple, and after dinner you could have would you like an orange?
I want my cookie now.
You could have an apple.
I want my
and a
okay.
carrot stick.
The only piece it would say is I wouldn't bring up the cookie. I would just say this is what we're having now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the next 15 minutes, you'll hear enforceable statements that the cookie will work with. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's part 2, remember? Yeah. Okay. What do we have here?
AirPods during instruction
Ooh, I like it.
for high school students and some middle, actually.
So what did your colleague come up? What did you come up with as a choice?
Oh, we didn't get that far.
We didn't get that far. All we had was the conflict. We established the conflict. That was good. Okay. Anybody have an idea of how we could handle? How about the earbuds at dinner? How about the earbuds when I'm talking to you? How about the earbuds when I'm sharing things? What are some choices we could come up with?
Maybe like a first we eat dinner, then you can listen to music.
Okay. Think about again. Little choices. Do we have 2 options? Keep thinking that there are 2 options that are both acceptable. We may have to go to, did I give you lots of other choices? This is my day to do the withdrawal.
Yeah.
We may have to go that route. But can you start like any other bank account, like any other account? Can you start with an immediate withdrawal? No, because then you're in debt, and that doesn't work real well, right? So we need to make lots of deposits first. Today's the day we're doing earbuds in the case. Thanks for listening. Appreciate that, okay? So think about, again, not to dwell on too much, but if you're having trouble, or if it's being a bit of a conflict as to what I'm doing, is it effective or ineffective choices? Does it fit those 6 things? And that's in your handout. Cool? Okay. Part 2, the enforceable statements. That's on page 2. We talked earlier about limits, putting limits, trying to establish limits. The parent's role is to set consistent limits that can be enforced. I've just had a few days on the road and I've seen lots of kids and lots of kids in lots of situations. And I've watched lots of parents that didn't set any limits. I mean, I'm literally watching a family dinner at a restaurant and the mom's on the phone and the dad's on the phone, and I've got a 4-year-old that's sitting watching a video, and I've got mom cutting food while texting and putting food in the child's mouth while the child is lying. And this is like a 5-year-old. And I'm going, really? This is your family dinner? Like, oh my gosh. Did we set any kind of limits? Did we say no electronics at the table? And did I bring my phone then to the table? Because it has to be consistent, and I'm going to be setting it. So here's the piece that I like a lot, is the statements. We're going to talk a little bit about what's called you will and I will messages. Briefly, think about you will, I will. Briefly back to the needs. Here we go. Crying. Have we decided is it a need or a want? Do we know yet? Okay. If it's the hunger, the thirst, the dirty diaper, the need is met, everything's great with the world. Okay, so now let's go. If it's a want or desire, the crying, I've got to set the limit. A limit is set on the want. What is the want? We have to set the limit. Earbuds can be used on Wednesdays and Fridays. No earbuds Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Is that setting a limit? What day is today? I love it. Thank you. What day is that? Yeah, it's Tuesday, so is today earbud day? That's okay. Is today earbud day? Anybody remember? Whoa, oh, how sad. It's Tuesday. I've set the limit, and I'm going to continue to enforce it. Okay, here we go. The you will message. Think about you will. You will go to bed. You will go to sleep. If anybody in this room, and especially, thanks guys, I'll wave at you back there. If I told any of you that are out there watching, go to sleep. Do you go to sleep on command? God bless you. If you can, but in your case, maybe it doesn't really matter when I go. If I can get horizontal, it's a good thing. All right? A lot of us, we can't, go to, like right now, could you go to sleep? I don't know. If I told you to go to sleep, you will go to sleep. That just doesn't work. All right? So keep this in mind. You will do what I tell you when I tell you to do it. If we started a little bit here, like if I told you right now, stand up, you're all going to look at me like, no, I'm not going to do that. The guy's crazy. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Okay? Quit talking. Hurry up. Think about, I'm making you do something. You will do this. You will eat. You will make sure that you eat your squash. You will go to bed on time. It doesn't, I'm just going to make one statement, you will messages don't work. If I told you right now, put your head on the floor, you're going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you, you're in control right now of what you're doing. And that, if I'm trying to change that, it's not going to help. So now let's try, I will. Who's in control of I will messages? It talks about how I'm going to take care of myself and keep myself healthy. What am I going to do? Say what you are going to do, not what they're going to do. I will sit down. I look forward to you joining me. I will put my head on the floor and see what happens. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. Who's in control of I will messages? Say it out loud. Who's in control of I will messages? Say it out loud, folks. I am.
Who has the power in I will messages? Who establishes what the I will messages are? I do. I establish that. So, let's take a look. Using enforceable statements. It's the second page. And I'm in the first, probably the heavy part. When we set love and logic limits by saying what we will do, or what we will allow, we avoid looking like a fool. We share the control, and we avoid getting sucked into trying to control something we really can't. So again, let's go back to where were we? Let's do the earbud. Oh, no, let's go back to the cookie. Let's go back to the cookie. I will be happy to share a cookie with those who have a healthy snack. Sound good? Sure. But I want my cookie. I know. I will be happy to share a cookie with those who have a healthy snack first. Do you hear the I will message? Who's in control of that? Folks, say it out loud. Who's in control? I am. Though it sounds like yes, even you. Okay? Though it sounds like the child is having some choices and things like that, which is great. I will. And I can put that basically on any situation, what I will do. I will get up and hold the baby. You know, I'm just, okay, here we are. I will look at the page. I know what I'm going to do. In 7 minutes, I'm going to get up and walk out the door because the time's up. All right, that's fine. I will. Say what you're going to do. So, let's look at some examples. I love the second column. Same page, second. I'll listen as soon as your voice is as calm as mine. So if you have this yelling, screaming kid, I'll be happy to listen to you as soon as you talk in a calm voice. I'll take you guys to places you want to go in the car when I don't have to worry about fighting in the back seat. I will. I'll do the things I do for you around here when I'm feeling respected. I don't feel respected right now. Any situation. Let's see what we got here. You go ahead and listen when you're going, okay. The you will versus I will. Don't talk to me like that. Get a civil tongue in your mouth, shoulders. Is that a you will or an I will? That's a you will. No, doesn't work. I'll be glad to listen. Soft voice. How about this one? Look at the top. Hurry up, I'm tired of waiting. You get yourself in the car. Do you hear the you? Do you hear the you word? As soon as the you comes out of your mouth, it's going to be tough. You get in the car. Is that going to be effective? Anybody have an idea without, okay, my car will be leaving in 5 minutes. 2 ways to go. Clothes on your back or clothes in the bottom. Okay? All right. Anybody having trouble getting your child out the door in the morning? Okay. Anybody having, okay, let's go back to the bedtime. Okay, here we go. I'll be happy to read a story to those that sleep, those that go to their bedroom at 9 o'clock. I'll be happy to leave the electricity working in the room for the light for those that stay in their room. Do you have the ability to go down to the fuse box and kill the power? Yep. You see what I'm saying? I can almost turn anything into an I will message. As crazy as turning the power off to the room with the light. And they'll learn eventually. Anybody throw one at me? Any conflict that you've got here in these last couple minutes? A conflict right now that you maybe would struggle putting into, and there's a couple of good ones. The next couple of pages too. If you ever get stuck on something. Ineffective technique. Please sit down. We're going to eat. We'll eat as soon as you are seated. Do you hear the difference? I'll be happy to serve breakfast at 7:30. What if the child shows up at 8 o'clock? Any response? Anybody have an idea? Oh, how sad. Lunch is at 12. Okay, I'll serve lunch at 12. I serve breakfast at 7:30. Have a nice day. Will your child starve to death? No. Throw a question at me. Throw one that maybe you have a little trouble with.
TV before bed.
TV before bed. What's the conflict? I want to watch it for how long?
Shoot, that's a good second. She would watch for a while.
Okay. Okay. We could go a little farther. Let's go back to choices. What would be a good time to stop the TV in your mind? Pick a time. I don't care what it is.
8:15.
8:15. Okay. Would you like to watch TV till 8 o'clock or till 8:15?
I don't know if she-
Am I-
I don't know if she understands the time.
Okay. But does she understand shows?
Yeah.
Would you like to watch Scooby-Doo and SpongeBob, or just Scooby-Doo tonight? Okay, but SpongeBob's over at 8:15. But you see how she's picked? She thinks she's in control, but you're still getting the way you want. Oh, but I want to watch Mandalorian. Oh, how sad. You picked SpongeBob. Need or want? It's a want. Oh, how sad. TV's off.
Sometimes I do give her, most of the time I do the choice thing, and she'll pick one, and then a couple minutes later, she'll be bent out of shape because she picked the wrong thing, you know?
And how do you, and can I ask, how do you react to it?
Sorry, that's what you picked.
Okay. Oh, how sad. I'm not sorry for her. It's her. She's the one that's got to feel the empathy. And you can just, all you have to do is just, oh, how sad. You chose SpongeBob. Okay? Make sense, everybody? Okay. Here we go. There's our snack. These are just some examples. There's kind of in here. You know, feel free to watch TV as soon as you are ready for school. Feel free to watch SpongeBob when you're ready for bed. Is it TV before going to bedtime? I'll be happy to sit with you and watch SpongeBob as long as your teeth are brushed and you're in your pajamas. Well, no, it starts right now. Oh, it starts now? I'll be happy to sit with you when your pajamas are on and your teeth are brushed. Do you hear the I will message? Good? Okay. Quick review, I think I'm getting a wink, wink, nod, nod. We're pushing our 61 minutes. We want, as best we can, securely attach positive relationships, and that's our goal, right? When we share the control, I've given you a couple examples of how to do that. Great. Empathy. Oh, how sad. I've given you a couple of, here's your two tools for the toolbox. Choices, whoop. So I get for touching it. Choices. Always happy with either choice. Lots of deposits. Do a withdrawal when you need it. Enforceable statements, everybody together starts off with I. Everybody together?
Will.
I will. Not you will. I will. I will. I will. Any questions, any concerns, anything? I hope very, very much that I was able in the last 61 minutes or whatever it's been to give you all, and for those that are tuning in, I really appreciate you spending the time with us this evening. It's been great. I hope I've given you at least one or two tools for the toolbox that you can fall back on when that control or that anger or that frustration. Remember, the only time we get frustrated is when we don't know what to do next. So hopefully there's something else now that you've got to fall back on for that time when you don't know what to do next. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it, and have a great evening. Thanks very much.